Hi, morning. What are your wealth creation bets?
Good morning, Karunya. Good morning, Varun. Yeah, as far as my long-term wealth creation ideas are concerned, I'd like to recommend two stocks today. The first one would be Phillips Carbon Black. It's an RP Sanjeev Goenka Group company. It is India's largest carbon black manufacturer. It is present in 33 countries. And it is the first carbon black company in the world which has got carbon credits under the UN's Kyoto Protocol. Fundamentals are rock solid. The company trades at a reasonable valuation of the price earnings multiple would be around 7. It has an ROE of 17%, negligible debt of 0.32, and the profits have grown at a tremendous pace over the last 3 years. In 2017, the profits were 68 crores and they've gone up to 287 crores in FY20. So I'm bullish on the stock and I think one should be buying into the stock. And it also has a dividend yield of 7%. It declared a dividend of 7 rupees last year. So my targets are 200 rupees in a year. The second stock which I would like to recommend is a great company again. The name of the stock is Godrej Industries. It's a manufacturer of oleochemicals and surfactants. It is into a pretty solid, robust business. But the main trigger is its holdings. It's a holding company for most of the Godrej Group companies. It holds 23.7% in Godrej Consumer, 49% in Godrej Properties, 59% in Godrej Agrovet. And if you take the market value of these holdings, they would add up to around 34,000 crores today. Whereas Godrej Industries itself has a market cap of only 13,500 crores today. So it's available at a deep discount. And the promoters have at regular intervals increased their stake in the company. So I'm pretty bullish on the stock. Current levels are around 405, 410. I think we could easily see levels of 500 rupees in a year's time.
Thanks for those picks as always. With that, let's get a move on with our queries for this morning. And our first query is from Abby Thomas of the UAE. So he's actually an international viewer of ET Now. And he would like to know the long-term prospects of KRBL. He's holding 1,000 shares at a price of 285. And he's a long-term investor, so he wants to look at things from a slightly longer-term view. So Kunal, let's bring you up on the chart first. KRBL from a long-term view, does this perhaps look like a good entry point to you? What's your advice for Abby?
It seems like, because I think the stock is trying to recover. So, it was at its prime, I think in 2017, 2016, if I'm not wrong, the stock was at 600, 650 plus levels. And from there on, the stock had corrected to almost 1/6, 1/5 kind of, so it had hit that 100 mark as well in the month of, February. So it's a stock which is trying to recover. Now, the positive aspect which I can attribute on charts is that, in the last 4 months specifically, the volumes have started to increase up higher for KRBL. So when the stock was correcting from those 600 plus levels, the volumes were a bit amiss. But now when you see 3 consecutive months of price uptrend, you see volume participation coming back. But I always maintain, that the stance that the mid-cap stocks which you are looking to buy or especially hold on from long-term view needs to be bred in an environment where the indices are stable. So if you are expecting that the index moves could continue to be much on the stronger side in this bull market of sorts, or this strong recovery of sorts from those March lows is here to sustain for at least a couple of months or maybe for the next 6 months to 1 year, then I don't see any reason why you should fret, and you should definitely look to hold on from longer term view.
Okay, so Kunal's opinion is pretty clear cut. Stay invested. Vikas, do you share Kunal's opinion, or do you have something different that you'd like to flag off?
Yeah, Varun, my views are in line with what Kunal's view are. I'm also bullish on the stock, a company with pretty solid fundamentals and pretty reasonable valuations. And coincidentally, the caller is from UAE, where this company also has a significant business. It's into rice exports. So fundamentals look good, and I would recommend a hold on the stock at the current levels. And I think he could easily see targets of 350 rupees in the next 6 to 9 months on the stock.
Okay, so that's the verdict on KRBL then. Moving on to query number 2, Nikhil Gupta from Mumbai writes to us. He wants to invest about a corpus of 1 to 2 lakh, which he wants to put into auto stocks. So he wants us to, or rather the experts, to suggest which are some good bets within the auto space for the next 2 to 3 years. From a technical point of view, Kunal, where should he invest if the time horizon is slightly medium to long term?
But I think one of the stocks, again, a very good question, because I think at current juncture, many of these auto stocks are going through one of the fastest recovery in terms of price gains for many of these auto stocks. Now, when I look at the charts for the auto stocks, and I'm particularly giving more focus to the large cap ones, I think there are a couple of names which, for one, look fairly attractive to me. Hero MotoCorp has been one of the leader stocks. So I remember very clearly that from the April lows or March lows, this was one of the first auto stock which managed to show some very strong and robust outperformance, and then it probably gave a booster shot to the other stocks to try and participate on the upside. So I always tend to give more emphasis and more weightage towards the leader stocks, and especially the ones which tend to carry the entire sector with themselves. So Hero MotoCorp stands out in that regards to be one of the strongest price stocks. The other ones which look fairly attractive to me is Mahindra and Mahindra. So we've not spoken of this stock on long-term basis since last so many years, because the stock was going through a bit of a drag. But in this last 4 months of this price recovery, I think the texture of M&M has improved significantly. So from a long-term basis, we should even look at M&M. And of course, then the third stock option which is available to you is Maruti. Of course, the stock has completed a big major retracement on the long-term charts, and I'm sensing that this stock could probably give very significant and strong returns over a longer-term period.
Okay, what about you, Vikas? Given that rural is the flavor of the season, would you be betting on stocks that have good rural exposure, perhaps farm equipment companies or two-wheeler sectors, or is it the auto ancillary space that seems more attractive at this point?
Yeah, Karunya, you've hit the nail on the head rightly. And I'm bullish on two-wheeler stocks as well. Like Kunal had recommended Hero MotoCorp, I also like the stock. I feel the investor should buy one of the two-wheeler stocks, either Bajaj Auto or Hero MotoCorp, and stay invested in it for the next, say, 2 to 3 years. I see tremendous demand or tremendous increase in demand for two-wheelers. So these stocks would do well. And the other thing he could do is, as you rightly pointed out, he could go through auto component sector, where I'm pretty bullish, and with the government's focus on make in India and make for the world, I think auto component sector would really do well. And from there, that space, I would like to recommend 2 stocks, and he can choose one of them. The first one would be Subros, which is a great company. It's also owned 20% by Denso Corporation of Japan and 11 or 12% by Suzuki. Very good stock, and I think he can easily buy Subros at the current levels. And the other stock which he could buy into could be, again, stock which is pretty similar to what Kunal had recommended. He had recommended the parent company Mahindra and Mahindra. I think Mahindra CIE from the auto component space at the current levels of 137 can be bought into. And I have pretty good targets on both of them from a long-term point of view.
Well, Nikhil, if you're watching the show, you have a wide variety of names to pick from, and I hope the suggestions given by our experts is of help. Thank you so much, Vikas and Kunal, on that note, for joining us this morning.